Hey guys, I need a DHCP server for another project that I'm working on, so I figured this was a good opportunity. We'll load up Slackware Linux 14.0, and we'll take a look at building a DHCP server with Jasmine. Now, for those of you that don't know, Jasmine is a Core 2 Duo E8400. She's not exactly vintage, but still old enough to be on this channel. So I currently have a Wi-Fi card in the box. I'm connecting from the Wi-Fi to the router that goes to the outside world. I'm going to use the built-in Ethernet card. We'll turn that into the DHCP interface with an 8-port switch connected to it. And here's a quick overview just for clarity. So first, we're going to set the IP address on ETH0. And that's going to be a 10-block address, 10.0.0.1, and that's a /24 network. I'm saving that info in the rc.inet1.conf. And let's clean up some of this other crap in here. We don't need any of that. We'll take care of the wireless interface in a moment or two. I want to take this one step at a time. So let's save that information. And now I'm going to apply an IP address to ETH0. I could simply reboot here, but we'll do it on the fly for the moment. Okay, so ETH0 took that IP address. Notice the net mask is wrong. That'll be corrected on a reboot. LSPCI shows the wireless card in the system. That's an Atheros card. If you're looking for a wireless card for FreeBSD or Linux, Atheros, in my experience, is a good choice. They're more or less universally compatible. And now we'll pop back into rc.inet1.conf and set a few parameters for the wireless card. Now I'm doing something here that a lot of people might consider strange. I'm setting a static IP on my wireless card. I prefer static IPs. I like to have control over these things. And now before we can actually use that wireless card, I'm going to be using WPA2. So we need to install the corresponding WPA supplicant package. I've mounted the CD. And that package is installed. Now, of course, I need to configure the WPA supplicant.conf. I've put in my SSID and my PSK. That's the wireless LAN key, which, of course, I've obfuscated here. Yeah, my wireless key is actually not bork, bork, bork. We need to run the WPA supplicant, point it to the interface and the config file. And let's put an IP address on that interface. And I think I already applied one to ETH0, but I'm going to do it again. I honestly don't remember. And an ifconfig-a shows that, yeah, we've got an IP address on both of those interfaces. One thing we do need to do is put in that WPA supplicant command. I want that to run on boot, so we'll put that in the rc.local and save that info. Let's go back onto that Slackware install CD, and we need the DHCP packages. Yeah, now there's two DHCP packages here. I'm just going to install both of them. And now there should be a config file for the DHCP server. I've already pre-populated mine here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be putting the DHCP server on the 10-block address. So I have a subnet 10.0.0.0. That's going to be a /24 subnet. I'm handing out IP addresses from 10.0.0.2 through 10.0.0.254. And of course, we've got an rc.dhcpd start script. Let's execute that. And status indicates that it is running properly. Now, of course, we also want that to start on boot, so I'm going to add that into the rc.local as well. Now, I know I'm going through some of this pretty quick. If you're trying to recreate this at home, of course, you can simply pause the video at the relevant points. All the info is there. But yeah, we've made a lot of changes here. I'd say now is a good time to reboot and make sure everything is still working. And now we're back up and running. Let's check our ifconfig-a. And yes, indeed, ETH0 and WLAN0 picked up their proper IP addresses. Let's see if we've got a default route. Yes, we do. We can ping Google. So all things being equal, we should have a fully functional DHCP server. Here's an overview of the configuration. I have my Windows 95 client here. That's Lily, the Sidex 486. On the table, you see the 8-port unmanaged switch. And down on the floor, that's Jasmine, the DHCP server. So let's pop into Windows 95 and see if we picked up an IP address. Okay, WinIP CFG, let's do a release and renew. Looks good, we've got a 10-block IP address. And now let's see if we can ping the outside world. And no, those packets are not going anywhere. Okay, so we're not quite finished yet. Let's pop back over to Jasmine. And there's a few things we need to change before Lily can reach the outside world. So I'm going to enable forwarding between the interfaces. Remember, we have a wired interface, ETH0, and a wireless interface, WLAN0. And now I'm going to put the entire 10-block network behind a network address translation. So the 10-block clients are going to masquerade behind that IP address. And of course, I put that information in the rc.local as well, because that has to run on boot. So now, once again, if we pop back over to Lily, just to be safe, I'm going to check the WinIP CFG once again. And we'll do a release and renew. And yep, picked up an IP address. She probably still had the DHCP lease from a moment ago, and that's why she picked up the same IP. And now let's try and ping Google. And we can reach Google. Okay, looking good. So of course, as a true test, we have to bring up Netscape Navigator. And let's see if I can go to a website. Now, if you watched my series on Windows 95, you know that a lot of older browsers simply don't understand a lot of modern internet protocols. Thankfully, there's a website called theoldnet.com. This site reaches out to the Internet Archive, brings up snapshots of websites from years gone by, and presents them to the browser in a way that they'll understand. It strips out a lot of the modern protocols that the old browsers simply can't deal with. So if I bring up slackware.com, we can see this website from 1996 in all its glory. Oh, and last but not least, popping back to Jasmine, if we take a look in the var log messages file, you can see where Lily made a DHCP request, and you can see the response from Jasmine. So that was just a really quick tutorial on how to configure a DHCP server under Slackware Linux. So if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below. And, as always, thanks for watching.